Okay, I'm not exactly sure where I left off, and because it's been like 2 days later, but I'm just gonna. This is part two, okay? It was a Sunday, I was going to church. Okay, so I'm not sure where I was in the story. Maybe I should see that. Basically, we went to the doctor and I was about to get blood work to see like where my platelets were at, and it's like me and my dad are waiting. I think I had looked up like what is this that they think I have, because they did say like we think you have ITP, which I'm pretty sure is idiopathic thrombocytopenia. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. I probably should have looked that up, but it is a rare random, that's why it's idiopathic, blood disorder, autoimmune disease, my third one that they're thinking I have. So I remember like the symptoms were like you might be bruising easily, and sure enough, on my shoulder I had like the biggest purple bruise ever. And the next few weeks after that too, like as my platelets were up and down, I'm already a clumsy person, and so I just had bruises on my legs like all the time, and it was just pretty crazy. It also means that like if I got a cut or something, I would bleed pretty easily. That day too, I was like, you know what, like I went to bed last night feeling a little weird, like maybe that's what it was. And sure enough, they're like it's 14,000, which is still not ideal, but like it's better than 2,000. Like I didn't need a infusion or anything. My job now was to be on steroids and get my blood work every week to check on my platelets, see if they go up back to normal. And this actually took probably the rest of the year, so it's like maybe July at this point, and I was on steroids for too long. I hated the side effects because I'd already taken it before for whenever I was first told I had pancreatitis, and now here I am on it again, but higher dosages for a long time. I was so hungry all the time. My cheeks got so big, that's a side effect, and just weird amount of energy that you can't really do anything with. I got kind of insecure about my chubby cheeks. Like I kind of feel like I'm just now starting to look like my normal self again, and which is very relieving, even though that's superficial. But like for a long time, just not feeling like yourself is just kind of sad, and my body really just went through just a lot of changes. And I was back at like a healthy weight at this point. I think honestly the steroids probably helped with that, and I had started to get my Remicade infusion, so I was slowly like starting to heal a little bit. And the most recent thing with UC has been I went on a trip for New Year's and I had like a flare, but Remicade works like magic for me. Like I got an infusion probably 2 days after that and I felt fine, so at least we know it's working. But I might have to start getting more recent dosages of Remicade so it continues to work for a long amount of time and I don't go into flares. Another thing with like the anemia, I'm no longer anemic, but I did go through like some hair loss. Like my hair used to be thicker than this, and I think it has grown back a little bit because I have a picture where like it just up here like was falling out. And what's something else too? Oh, whenever I was diagnosed with UC, they gave me like a long list of foods that I need to watch out for, and I just looked at it and I was like, this is so crazy. Just how your life can change like that. Even though it's just food, you wouldn't think that has such a big impact on your life, but it does. And just being on steroids for so long, I just kind of felt like a guinea pig because we didn't really know how my body would like react, or some days my platelets would be amazing and some days they'd just go back down just so randomly. And and I had to go back to college, and I still had to get lab work every week. But luckily I'm not doing that anymore, and something more recent that is kind of a miracle is that my doctors think my Remicade is actually helping treat my ITP, which is not supposed to happen, they said. So really that is a miracle if that's true. We're gonna figure that out pretty soon. But I think I kind of summarized everything. It really has been just a wild ride for me, and I think the biggest thing is that God really was there for me throughout all of this. There were some very lonely and sad and hard times, and whenever you're just sick and you can't do anything about it, you just feel kind of trapped in your own body. I went from being healthy to not healthy to just super thin, and then other changes, and now I finally feel like normal again. But I know I never will be like truly normal, because autoimmune, these diseases can't be cured. It's possible with God, all things are possible, but as far as we know, there's no real cure. It's just, you know, being gluten-free and watching my iron and watching my platelets and getting Remicade infusions, and that's okay, you know. I'm very thankful that there's treatments, and I'm very thankful that I don't get dizzy whenever I stand up or crave ice anymore. I can't, like, looking back, I used to love to eat ice, and now I have no desire to. So that just means I probably was anemic for a really long time and just didn't know. One of the biggest life changes for me that has stayed too is that I get a lot of fatigue. Like I can't be as active as I used to be. I just kind of need to slow down and rest, and which is good in a lot of ways, because it's hard for me to slow down sometimes, and now I'm like forced to, like my body just like can't take it. I just need to rest. I really was stretched in a lot of ways. There were other things going on too that weren't just health, and I think God really meets you in all of that, and you have to seek out the lessons in all of it and seek out where he is in all of it, and you get closer to him and you grow as a person. So I really don't regret any of it, if that's the right word, because of everything, how I've changed and how it's changed me. Whenever you're sick, you just kind of have nothing left. Like you only can depend on God, and he wants you to depend on him. God was truly like my hiding place, and that's a book 10 out of 10 recommend. I just read it. Also, I heard like that they say whenever something's wrong, your body first whispers and then it speaks and then it shouts, and I think I had just gotten to the shouting point, and I really had to take care of myself and figure out what was going on. Also, something cool that I need to mention is that I have a new best friend, Maddie, who I met in 2021, who actually has ulcerative colitis too. And we just couldn't, it was just so random because I had just been diagnosed, and she's telling me about how she got diagnosed like 5 years ago and never had a friend her age to talk about it with. And here we are at the same school, and we have so many things in common, and now we're colon sisters. That's what she says. So the message of the story is that hard things are bound to happen. They really just are, but you can always expect God to take care of you and be there, and he does know what he's doing. Like whenever the hard things happen, he gave me a friend that I can share it with and people to look out for me, and I really just had to let go of wanting to be so independent and become dependent, especially on him. And he provides care through doctors who know what they're talking about, and through family and friends who love you so much and send prayers and encouraging thoughts and trips to the movies or groceries. calls, texts, like people really do show up, and if they don't, God does. And so yeah, this was my crazy health story of 2021.